All right, welcome back to Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Buck What You Heard. You follow me, I will follow you back. And I am here at Bay Cannon Beer Company in what I want to say, historic West Tampa. It's always great to get over to West Tampa to visit and hang out. I mean, it's got to be one of the spots that I hit whenever I'm here. And I'm joined by my co-host KB. How you doing tonight, my friend? From all the way from NC.
I'm doing fantastic. It's a great day to be in North Carolina and not have the heat wave that everyone else is getting.
Oh yeah. Well, I've gotten away from the dry heat, and I'm here with the humidity, but it's all good for me. Special guest, my guy, the man with the plan, and I'm sure you'll see us again this weekend. Michael Pless from Real Bucs Talk. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, man. It's good to be back on with you guys.
Yeah, man. So I figured what we'll do, we're going to try something different. You know, this is the off season. There's not a whole lot to talk about. So we're going to talk about what's trending. And I know one of the big things is the whole Urban Meyer and Kyle Shanahan were both fined by the NFL for OTA violations. And I don't know. I'm going to be very honest. And you know me, I'm always willing to admit I'm wrong. But I don't like Urban Meyer. I haven't liked Urban Meyer since the way he left Florida, the Florida Gators with the health issue, and then all of a sudden he shows up at Ohio State. So he's not one of my favorite people of all time. So it is what it is. So I don't know. For me, and maybe I'm wrong, and I probably need to read more into this, but this is not college. This is the pros. And there are rules that have to be followed, and things are going to happen if you aren't following the rules.
Yeah, I agree with that. I haven't looked into it too much. I know that it came out today, so there really hasn't been much context put behind it. But obviously they tried to, push something that they weren't allowed to do. So, and again, it's all about competitive advantage. Teams try to find that edge, and obviously they got caught for it. So it'll be interesting to see if more of this comes out around the league, if there's more violations that come, forward. I know teams they're doing whatever they can to get around these restrictions. Obviously with the COVID and vaccinations going on, it seems like most players are going to get vaccinated just because it's going to help your team be in a better position. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, football is the ultimate team sport, and you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that your team has that advantage. Bud Cannibalist, what's going on, my friend?
Well, and then just to continue on from what in the research that I've done in the past 10 minutes, it's basically looks like a lot of the fines came down to contact between wide receivers and defensive backs and like 7-on-7 and 1-on-1 drills, which to me, if that's the issue, whatever. But I think Pless brings up a great point, though, in terms of COVID and the different things going on. I mean, I live in Raleigh, so everyone's pissed off up here about the NC State situation. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that was horrible.
NC State got eliminated the game before the College World Series. They had a Game 3 with Vanderbilt, and half their team basically contracted COVID because an unspecified amount of players didn't have a vaccine. And we've seen even in the NBA, Chris Paul was vaccinated and still got COVID. So you just have to be ready as a team there has to be some messaging that must be going on internally across the NFL in order to keep these players not only safe for their own health benefit, but for safe as a league to be able to even play on Sunday so we don't have to see any forfeits or any Tuesday night football games this year.
Yeah. And what do you guys think? Do you think that teammates and coaches will be putting more pressure on the guys that aren't vaccinated? Is that a possibility? I mean, you want the best advantage you have going into each game. And we've seen how losing a player can affect a team. Case in point, Cam Newton. Cam Newton contracting COVID just really hurt the New England Patriots last year, and they never really got their flow back after he was gone. And even when he came back, they just weren't the same team. Again, it's something I think that I realize that it's your personal choice. You choose to get vaccinated, you do. I don't have any skin in the game, but at the end of the day, it's a team effort, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it and you look at the, obviously the protocols that they're putting in place, and you know, obviously you have a choice, but it seems like they're kind of, they're trying to force it on these players to, because if you don't get it, then you can't work out with the team. You have
Right.
to go into, a lot of exclusive uh, distance from, being around your teammates. So it does put kind of
It,
like a hindrance
it
on.
puts you at a disadvantage somewhat.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out going through the season. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the deeper teams are going to have an advantage there. Just with their depth.
And
That's going to be important.
this is the thing to consider. Not every team has a luxury of having depth at every position, and there are going to be key players that you may potentially lose because of COVID.
The Raiders lost an entire offensive line,
Exactly,
and
and we saw how that affected that team.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's always going to be Cole Beasleys of the world, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the NCAA right now. But when I was a former player, they didn't tell you what to do, but what they did was you had compliance people that
Mhm.
basically sat you down in a million meetings to basically tell you what to do, but they didn't actually tell you what to do. So I feel like that's going to be the same thing in the NFL. I think they're going to bring in a bunch of experts. Can't remember which team, but was talking about bringing in a Harvard expert in, you know, genealogy and all that kind of stuff and viruses to come in and actually explain this to players so they at least have that knowledge. And I think they're just going to keep pounding that dead horse until, the most, if not all of their players wind up following suit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and again, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I think it all comes back down to personal opinion. I can speak, and I know that COVID is a little bit different than the flu or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of flu shots, so I'm never like gotten them because I felt like my immunity was fine, and if I've ever gotten sick, I've gotten it over pretty quickly. But I think this is a different situation right here, where you're dealing more so with a more lethal a virus that can definitely affect people, and it can affect your whole team. It can wipe out a team and easily take you out of playoff contention just that quickly.
Well, and last week when we had our special guest on, we were talking about the whole, I almost said Max Crosby. Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh, Cam.
No, the defensive end used to play for the Bucs, now plays for the Raiders. Came out.
Oh yeah, Nassib,
Carl
Carl
Nassib.
Nassib, Carl
We were
Nassib.
talking about Nassib, and we're talking about how the NFL is a business, right? Well, if you have people like Cole Beasley coming out and saying, I don't care if you're my family member and you come around me and get it, what does the Bills organization think of you in terms of trusting you with their commodities, which that's what these players are to these
Yeah,
owners and to these coaches.
yeah,
They're
they're
commodities that can be
investments.
bought, traded, and sold at any point. So does that make people who don't want to follow those rules expendable? Or does talent trump, political
Uh,
opinions on the matter?
I think if you're talking about playoff contention, if you're talking about putting yourself in a position to win, because ultimately that's where you want to get. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers raised the bar, and they showed that a specific players can come in and change the trajectory of a team really quick. So, I think that more people are looking at specific players that they feel like can come in and help their teams.
Yeah, I think leadership is, I mean, outside of the on play that we got from players like Gronk and Tom, but I think that leadership goes a long way. Like, remember, we're in the dog days of a losing streak and not playing that well despite even
Right,
winning. Gronk says, I'm a blocking tight end. That's what the media talks about for 2 weeks. They
right.
don't talk about the Bucs' struggles offensively or Brady turning the ball over a couple times more than what he probably would have in New England.
Exactly, exactly. So I do want to kind of switch gears. I know we talked a little bit about Urban Meyer. I do want to shout out the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, the Lightning are killing it, man, and it's incredible. We're here in Tampa. I mean, just the vibe here is just totally different than anything I can ever remember. I remember the last Stanley Cup. Uh, not this last one, but the last one, and it was like, people were excited, but everybody's just like more and more getting into hockey, and we have a good quality franchise that continually goes to the playoffs. and now they've finally gotten over that hump, and they pretty much know what they need to do. I mean, that's exciting. I mean, just for Tampa, it's just exciting for Tampa, period.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to be champions by Monday. I think they're going to sweep this team because Montreal's just not. They're not a match.
I think they gave the Bolts their best in game 2,
and they still lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
To me, that game 2 was the equivalent to the Bucs versus I almost said Redskins, Washington football team in the playoffs. I wouldn't even say, because the Bucs did not play their A game that day.
No.
And Washington, I mean, I almost said Case Keenum, but whatever the heck his name is, put on a show, and still wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. So, shout out to them. Shout out to the ownership, and just building a business model that really shows you that you can come in and win, and you can stay competitive, and then you can turn around and win some more. I mean, that, you got to be excited about that for the Tampa area, period, just because of all those years where you just didn't have a whole lot going on here. And now you have this, and then you have the football team, poised and in a position where they can possibly go back and repeat. And, something to just kind of add to that, no other team, what was it? No other team has brought back everybody and gone back to compete for Super Bowl championship. And then you've got 2 teams that are going back to back potentially. If the Bolts win, and then you have the Bucs winning, you never had 2 teams from different sports that have gone on to back like this.
Well, and then the Rays, you never know if they can even get back. I mean, they just got to solve some pitching problems, but the Lightning overall, I mean, it's so impressive. And I think we should call Tampa Bay the kings of the salary cap, because we got the Rays balling on a budget.
Yeah.
We got the Bucs manipulating. No one thought we could keep every single player the way that we did. And then we got the Lightning controversy, which isn't controversy, but the NHL wants to make it controversy because their team lost.
That's because of the whiny ass Islander fans that are out there. And
it's not just them. Remember, it's the Florida Panthers. I mean, everyone's been talking about it. It's because Cooch. It's like if Tom Brady didn't play the entire season, and he came in the playoffs and threw 500 yards a game with like 4 TDs. It's like, well, they just benched him to save some. Okay, how many teams can make the playoffs without Kucherov not playing an entire season and Stamkos missing a quarter or a third of the season and still being like a top 2 or 3 seed? How many teams can do that?
Just the Lightning.
Could you imagine the Penguins without Sidney Crosby, or the Capitals without Alex Ovechkin for an entire season? And those are good teams.
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't happen. So
also, while we're on the Lightning, Vasi, you're the best goalie in the world. You deserve the NHL's best goalkeeper award. I love Marc-Andre Fleury. I liked him before I even understood hockey when I was a kid. But I'm sorry, Vasi is taking your crown. You have to give the man his dues. Just send that trophy down to Tampa for him.
Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I've got a Nikolai Hobby-Bulin jersey, and I brought it with me because I plan on wearing it tomorrow when we go to the watch party. But I'm going to say this. This kid, this Vasi is incredible. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The only 2 goals he's let up in these 2 games have gone off multiple people. That's the only reason they went in.
Exactly.
That's it. The thing about Vasi, though, what amazes me so much about him, the Lightning have great defensemen, but they give up so many odd man rushes, and there's one-on-nones, and Vasi stops them all.
Because you guys know I'm a Hobby-Bulin guy, and the Bulin wall was just like incredible. And nobody thought that Stanley Cup would ever come to Florida. Period. Never. Yeah. Yeah. So again, but what this kid is doing is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, Vasilevsky is a machine, and he's only 27 years old, I think. And
exactly.
This is just the beginning for him.
That's like baby steps. That's baby steps in hockey years.
Should I get a point or a Vasi jersey?
Vasi's probably. I mean,
he's safer, but like point, like what he's done, like like this is probably the first like actual season where I've paid attention to the Lightning for like the entire season, not just like their playoff runs. And every time I just watch Point, I'm just like, he's just amazing and he just scores every time I like watch the Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with either choice. They're going to be here for a long time. Point is going to be I think the eventual captain when Steven Stamkos is out of here. But yeah, I mean they're in great hands, and hopefully, I mean Steven is going to be here for a while. He's got 6 more years on his contract, so yeah, they're in great shape. Again, Vasilevsky, he reminds me. I don't know if you guys seen the show Queen's Gambit.
Yes,
but Vasilevsky,
that Russian.
Yeah, he's Russian built, and then he also, I mean, he looks up in the ceiling. He looks up at the ceiling. It's kind of similar to what the Queen's Gambit character did.
Oh yeah,
she looks up at the ceiling to like strategize. Vasi does it every, before the game. He looks up straight up in the air, and it feels like that's his way of locking in. And he's in the zone pretty much the whole game.
Man. All right, so I do want to kind of jump ahead a little bit. I do want to talk about Dan Snyder and the moves that the Washington football team is making, and I guess to me this is a PR move. I mean, with everything that's been going on with the Washington football team, everything bad that can happen, and then you're trying to me they're trying to right the ship a little bit by bringing in his wife. As I didn't even know Dan Snyder was married, because Dan Snyder is a playboy, and you hear about all the coke parties and the strippers and all the other stuff. I had no idea that Dan Snyder was married.
Well, how about what they did with their cheerleading staff? If we're going to
talk about women, that's what I'm saying. That's just not those aren't the actions of a married guy, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and there's women who spoke about it. There's a reason why there weren't many women just in the offices at all, and the ones that were treated poorly. And I can't wait for the day he sells, but it's going to be bittersweet to me because it's like the Clippers owner a couple of years ago. Yeah, he's punished by selling his multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Right.
Is that really punishment? That he's just not part of the exclusive club? He doesn't have his black card anymore to do whatever he wants?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right there. So I don't know. I think that this is a move in the right direction for this team. I think once they get the name change finalized and they get everything done, then you can pay more attention to the team as a whole instead of all the circus act that's really been going on, for this team. So I don't know what do you guys think?
I think change needs to happen.
Yeah. I don't have a comment on the situation. I mean, Washington is, it's a franchise that's been all over the place, really.
Right.
There's really no stability. Finally they got Ron Rivera in there, but again,
I think Ron Rivera is kind of stabilized. He's kind of, kind of settled.
Again, I don't think much of Ron Rivera from a coaching standpoint. Again, he's a guy that, he's going to get you at least 7 to 8 wins. Kind of, he just reminds me of Jeff Fisher in that kind of way. I mean, he's just not gonna, he's not gonna bring you to that championship, and
he literally had Superman and couldn't do it.
No,
well, Cam Newton is below.
No, that's what I'm saying. He literally had Superman on his team in his prime and couldn't win.
No, he had Hello Kitty on his team and they couldn't win.
Okay, let's Cam that season. Come on now. Like, remember, this is the same Cam team that blew out Bruce Arians and that very good Arizona Cardinals team, like 52 to nothing.
Okay, so we're going to have to disagree on this here. I mean, seriously, because one thing that I found about Cam Newton is a front runner. Donovan McNabb is a front runner. They're very similar in their behaviors. Yeah. Cam Newton gets punched in the mouth enough times. He puts his towel on his head and he goes and sits down away from the team. You've seen this. How many times has this guy taken the towel off his head, put this team on his back, gone out and won games consistently? You just don't see it from him. It's just never been.
Tell me the difference between Cam Newton and Russell Westbrook.
There's not.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's like James Harden is another guy. I mean, if we're making comparisons with athletes, James Harden can give you all the points. He can give you Madden-like points during the regular season, But when it comes to the playoffs, he disappears.
Yeah.
And that's just, he's just these guys are front runners, in my opinion.
Goose egg for championships. That's all they're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. Win. And I think T.O., I was not mad at T.O. for being upset with Donovan McNabb saying that he quit during the Super Bowl. This guy had, what do you have, like a broken ankle or something like that? And he came back. He rehabbed back to where he could play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I was too young. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Yeah, well.
Just kidding.
I'm thankful.
I actually remember that's my quarterback.
I'm thankful for Donovan McNabb. I mean, he gave us the greatest play in Buccaneers history.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Pick six.
I'm always thankful for him. So I'll be a fan of him.
Yeah, but how about Rondé having that on his resume and just still not being in the Hall? Like, imagine all the players who don't have that iconic moment.
Yeah, true.
And actually have the stats to pull behind it.
Okay, we have to come together. I'm still doing Simeon Rice, and you're still doing Rondé Barber. We need to put this together before the regular season. We need to get this done.
Dude, tell work to not push more and more on me, but we'll have it one day.
So, plus, if you're just listening, we listened to the horrible, and I'm going to say this, horrible speech that was written for Rondé Barber in trying to get him into the Hall of Fame by a dinosaur that has no business talking about anything recently related to any sports. But we've decided to right the ship, fix the problem that we see it, and come up with a actual Hall of Fame speech to get these guys in. So I'm going to do Simeon Rice because we know what Simeon Rice meant to this Buccaneers defense when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And of course, KB is going to take his rightful place talking about Rondé Barber and what Rondé Barber meant to the Buccaneers team throughout. I mean, he was an important, integral piece of the Buccaneers throughout their run, throughout his time as a Buccaneer.
It's not even just that, though. I mean, I'll spoil part of my speech whenever I eventually get around to writing it, but he changed the position that currently is a very important position today in the modern NFL. Like, there wasn't a slot nickel corner before Rondé Barber that people know.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, it was an unknown position. You had 2 corners and 3 linebackers. That's what you had. That was it.
Yeah, I mean the game changed and it was great for Rondé to adapt and change with it.
100%.
As his career went on, the passing game evolved and became bigger and bigger every year. So having a guy like Rondé who could play slot corner, outside corner, free safety, linebacker, all those positions, it was just a credit to him, and he was consistent in everything that he did.
100%.
Well, and also back then too, the West Coast offense and John Gruden especially, was obviously in Tampa, but that was what was prevalent. Well, there weren't that many burners 20 years ago that there wasn't a vertical really offense. There was no spread. That stuff wasn't really around. And so Rondé Barber was literally one of the most targeted people on the field every single game.
Yeah.
Right.
The game was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Like as far as just the style of play, the personnel that was back then. That's why I was telling Mark, last night, my co-host, I was telling him you can't substitute Levante David in for Derek Brooks. You just can't. There are different styles or different eras of play. Derek Brooks was great at that time in history of the NFL because, again, he played in a system. He had. Right. Dominant front in front of him. It was just, it fit everything he did well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not taken away from his talent because obviously he was a very talented player, mental, cerebral, just knew everything that was going to happen. And you put Levante in there in that kind of defense. I don't know. It's not the same,
I'm going to say this about Rondé. I really believe that Rondé Barber could play in this era of football. I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but I think the type of player he is and what he's capable of doing, I think he would definitely be successful in this era of football, this offense-centric era of football that we're in right now.
You know who else would too? Simeon Rice.
Simeon Rice, most definitely. Simeon Rice would excel in this era of football. I mean, when you look at Simeon Rice and what Simeon Rice did with the Arizona Cardinals before he even came to Tampa, he was playing at a high level. He was ranked number 2. He was ranked number 2 in sacks before he even came to Tampa. And people aren't talking about that. It wasn't until Calais Campbell came along, I believe, that record at number 2 was broken. So I don't know. I just, again, these are guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. I think that without Simeon Rice, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win that Super Bowl. I really don't. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that. I don't believe that without his offensive pressure, without what he's doing attacking the quarterback, without his edge rush ability, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win with any other edge rusher.
Yeah. No, I agree. Again, I told you guys he's still the best pass rusher I've seen live in person till this day. I mean, he's the greatest I've seen.
Yeah, offense Shaq. I agree with that.
Yeah, and watching Shaq Barrett, I love Shaq Barrett. I love him, but Simeon Rice was on another level. Yeah. Just the way he attacked the edge and got to the quarterback. I mean, there weren't many players that could do what he did.
He'd make $250 million if he started his career right now in his career.
Easily. So, guys, with we're getting closer to the regular season. Plus, I loved your breakdown on Tyler Johnson. Thank you. Folks, if you're not following Real Bucs Talk, at Real Bucs Talk on Twitter or go to Real Bucs Talk on YouTube, watch their film breakdown. I promise you, if you don't know anything about football, watch it. You'll sound like an educated person when you talk to somebody about football. You guys have been doing amazing. And Ndamukong Suh, incredible. I mean, I love what you had to say about him. I know. And me and you, we go way back, when the Bucs, we had what we call the lean years. And, we were making excuses for Gerald McCoy. But I can tell you 100%, without a doubt, Suh is the real 93.
Yeah. No,
he's a real 90.
He's legit. I mean, if you watch the tape, he's a good player, man. He does his job.
And I really believe that, and I'm going to go a step further. I believe that if the roles had been reversed, I think that players would have fed off of Ndamukong Suh with him being the starting DT as opposed to Gerald McCoy. The roles were reversed and Gerald McCoy went to Detroit and Ndamukong Suh came to Tampa. I think that the players would have fed off of Ndamukong Suh more.
Didn't we lose that draft pick to a coin flip?
No.
No. That
was 2007. We lost to the Browns, and the Browns got Joe Thomas, and we ended up getting Gaines Adams.
Yeah. Don't remind me. Let's not mention
it.
Don't mention it.
No, I just remember that happened around that time. That's all I remember.
Yeah. So, but you guys are killing it, man. I mean, and
also their Monday podcast. Let's talk about that. Every Monday night they talk for an hour, same as we do here. Very insightful. They take all your questions. Make sure you all check them out when they're live. I try to be there whenever I can, and whenever I'm there, you'll see me asking. Plus, will tell you like 10 things, and also comment on 500 things.
Because
so make sure y'all check them out Monday night.
Yeah, because Real Bucs Talk is very educational. We're over here, we drink beer and swear and all this other stuff, and hang out at places we probably shouldn't. But like your show, you guys are really killing it, man. What are you guys over like? You guys are over 3,000 viewers right now, right?
Yeah.
Or subscribers,
yeah, subscribers, yeah.
Subscribers.
We're getting it going. So we got more coming out this weekend. Excited.
So if I can ask, just curious, you can give us a little taste here. Who are you guys working on next?
Say a position.
Okay, let's do this.
I'll just say this.
Let's offense or defense.
We got a couple offense, or no, one offense and two defense.
Yeah. Okay, so
coming soon.
Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about this.
Oh, I was gonna throw a prediction.
Okay, I'm saying OJ Howard.
Close.
I was going to say
No!
defense. I was going to say Shaq, and then I was going to say Sean Murphy Bunting.
Now,
Kind of
now
close.
what I'm gonna say here is OJ Howard is the X factor on this offense
Oh, for sure.
because we didn't get to see enough of OJ Howard. We got a sample size of OJ Howard, and we saw the connection between OJ Howard and Tom Brady. It was incredible, and you just hope that continued throughout the season. Now, what I will say is this guy is somebody that's not being mentioned by the media, by local sports, or anybody. But I can tell you what, if he's 100% healthy throughout the year, he's going to be a difference maker. And I'm praying to the football gods that he can have one totally healthy, injury-free season so we can see what his potential is. Because I think playing with the Tom Brady is going to put him on another level.
Are you too familiar with the crazy hot scale?
What is the crazy hot scale?
The crazier, the hotter they are. You get to a certain point to where they're just a unicorn. And I think OJ Howard, his entire career, is a unicorn. If you made a tight end in a lab, a moderate or a Y tight end, you have OJ Howard. And we have been teased this entire 5-year span of his potential, but we still haven't seen it. So I'm praying for it, and I want to see it. Just 1 year, just do that, OJ, and get yourself paid, man. You're going to make like
the whole thing.
$80 million.
Because when we see OJ Howard may start out slow, but he builds up, and then he gets injured. So we don't get to fully see what he's capable of doing. I believe in this guy. I believe if he's 100% healthy, OJ Howard is a game changer. He's going to make everything different, and he's going to make defensive coordinators have to game plan for him. Because number one, he's a great blocker. He can physically block. He can block going downfield. And when he's consistent, he can catch the ball. But again, I don't think we've gotten to see the best of OJ Howard because of injuries.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, OJ, me and Mark talk about this, I think, on every live stream. It's like OJ Howard, he would just make this offense unreal. Really, they would average 35 points or more a game because of OJ. It just gives you so much flexibility because you can have OJ, stay into block. You can have, Gronk stay into block. You can have OJ run the middle of the field. You can do a lot of different things with those two, just attacking the middle where it opens up things on the outside, and pretty much a guy's going to be running wide open on pretty much every play.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it'll be pretty amazing, and you can max protect, and you can just have two receivers go out and dominate. So there's just a lot of different things you can do with OJ in there.
So
we saw Tom loved him last year, in the beginning.
So I don't know if you guys gone back and watch some of his film and watch his blocking technique. He's an incredible blocker. And he's a difference maker on that offensive line when they keep him back there to block. I don't think that gets talked about enough, what he does for that offensive line when he's able to get in there and help them out. We saw a lot of that from him more when Bruce Arians was, when Bruce Arians first got there, we saw a lot more blocking from OJ Howard. And I got a great feel for that. But again, Rick Hughes. Hey, Rick Hughes, my man, I totally agree with you. Potential is like is something that it's a taboo word in Tampa. You want to talk about a player and you want to know what they're able to do.
Remember when Michael Clayton had potential?
Oh, the stone-handed devil, yes. The
most flukiest 1,000-yard season we'll probably ever see in Buc history. Because we got good receivers in our history.
I love Michael Clayton. I think he would make a good coach.
I miss.
Well, if we're going to talk about blocking, Michael Clayton.
I miss my conversations with Michael Clayton and his defense of Jameis Winston. That was a fun time. But anyway, back to OJ.
God. He was like heavy on wide receivers and how they're not running clean routes. But
I'll give him D-Jacks, but everyone else, man, I don't know if I can go that far.
I mean, I could understand what he was saying. Again, this offense is complicated. Receivers have the ability to read the defense, and they have to be on the same page as the quarterback and the way they read the defense. So, we saw that last year with Brady and his receivers at times where, certain things weren't on the right page, but then it continued to get better. But back to OJ, I think OJ again, if he's healthy, there a lot of these things in the offense opens up a lot. I mean, you have so many avenues that you could explore because having OJ and Gronk, they're basically two left tackles that you can put in at any time and be versatile, and it just allows you to do so many things in the screen game. Middle of the field passing, play action game, a lot of stuff that you can open up, and plus obviously it helps your running game.
And one thing that I will mention that I don't think has been talked about is OJ's route running has improved from his rookie year up to last year. We saw that a lot.
Game. Watch that first thing. Or no, excuse me, the Chargers game. That's the one I was meant to refer to.
Yeah, his route running has just improved, and I think with Tom Brady and his expectations on what he wants from his receivers and tight ends, I think that's going to be huge. I think, here's a guy that's going to come in. He's rehabbing from that injury. I think he's going to be a huge part, or as Rick Hughes says, potential is a terrible word. It is. We've used it a lot.
Well, think about the times Brady missed Gronk in the seams. Yeah. That's probably 5 yards behind OJ because Gronk had some heavy feet to at least begin the year. And after OJ went down, they tried to do a lot more with Gronk and things weren't hitting. And those are the plays I feel like that OJ would make a huge difference of. And those are the yak plays or the downfield plays as opposed to get the first down and go down, which the Bucs can do well. And that's why I love Godwin, but Godwin can create the yak. Mike Evans isn't a yak guy, but he's a down the field guy. Same with Scotty Miller. There's just so many ways for these receiving targets to make a huge impact for the Bucs that we haven't even talked about Antonio Brown once.
Right.
We haven't talked about Scotty Miller really yet.
Exactly. That's just how loaded this offense is. We haven't even brought up some of the guys that can potentially make plays as well. And I would like to bring up Antonio Brown. How does Antonio Brown factor into this offense this year, in your opinion? And I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you, Ples.
Yeah, I'll make it real simple. I mean, he's going to be wide-ass open pretty much every play.
Well, we saw the difference on just the out route. What was originally 2 or 3 pick sixes turned into easy first downs.
His yards after the catch is insane.
Yeah, he's going to be open, guys. I mean, you can't cover him, so he's going to be open.
Yeah. How do you?
Because if you can't double team him. So.
No. How do you game plan for him? Mm-hmm. I mean, that I guess to me that's the question. When you talk about Mike Evans, you talk about Chris Godwin, or let's take them out of the equation. Let's talk about Scotty Miller. We could talk about Tyler Johnson, but then you have we're talking about Antonio Brown is on the field as well. He's a threat at all times.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
you cannot discount Antonio Brown at any point in the game. You have to have somebody. You have to have eyes on him at all times.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's why I was saying, with our offensive line, that's going to be more established and more consistent. Brady's going to understand the offense a lot better. He's going to be able to get the ball out quicker. So Antonio Brown's going to have a lot of one-on-one matchups because you can't double team him and leave Mike Evans, one-on-one or, Chris Godwin, et cetera. So there's going to be a guy running down the middle of the field open. The outsides are going to be open. So it's going to be a lot of possibilities. You just can't cover them all.
Well, who's going to play the slot? Because, I mean, yes, Chris Godwin can play slot, but so can Mike Evans. So, I mean, it's really you don't know where those 3 players especially are going to line up at any given point.
Exactly.
Hey, white ass open needs to be a T-shirt.
I think that's a Bruce Arians quote, but, I mean, he's just going to – I mean, there's going to be a lot of wide ass open people. That's all I will say.
And you know what somebody just brought up, and I just put this in the chat. I don't know if you saw this. Giovanni Bernard. We haven't even talked about this.
He's going to be wide ass open too.
Wide ass open.
Yeah. Talk about check down.
It's going to be wide open.
Bro, I mean, and think about this. You had Shady McCoy who collected a check. This is a huge upgrade from Shady McCoy to Giovanni Bernard. who I think still has a lot of gas in the tank and is going to do nothing but help this team. He's a guy you haven't heard him mention in the offseason other than him getting signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
Antonio Brown and Giovanni Bernard cost less than Jameis Winston does playing for the Saints.
There you go.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Pick six.
No, but like those players are playing cheap, and then Antonio Brown specifically is playing on an incentive-laden contract. If he doesn't hit numbers, he doesn't get paid. And we saw that the Bucs will even pad his stats if needed. But like Antonio Brown is gonna probably put up X amount of numbers unless he gets hurt. He's gonna make those minimum numbers, whatever it takes, because we know he's gonna be in Brady's ear, and Brady, we're gonna be winning so much, it's gonna be like whatever.
And think about this: Antonio Brown is not the locker room cancer that everybody made him out to be.
Off the field, I feel like in the locker room, he's.
I'm talking about within the locker room. I'm talking about he's a benefit for this team. He's helping these young Tyler Johnson, even Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. He's helping these players, in the locker room, and that's where all this needs to happen. And I feel like these are things that you can't put a price on. But he's accomplishing this. So I'm excited. And real quick, I do want to shout out Bay Cannon Beer. Over here in Historic West Tampa. This is beautiful, man. This is a great spot, man. They've got a lot of beer out there. The waitress is mad cool. The owners are great. This is a great place to come and hang out. If you want to support local, this is a place to come. Bay Cannon Beer. Right now, I think, what am I drinking? This American Stout right here.
That looks good.
Yeah, NFL Jesus gave me permission. I had a dream that he told me, NFL Jesus told me that I can drink beer. I need to. It's my mission from God.
How long are they open? I might drive down there.
Hey, I will. I think they're open till like 11.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, come on down. I will wait for you here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get some food.
There you go.
And we'll just kind of hang out. And again, we're going to be tomorrow too.
We're going to get on a flight, man.
Dude, speaking of flights, I'm trying to make this New Orleans game.
Oh, right.
It's going to happen.
Well, no, but like I'm trying, man. But I'm not paying no $1,000 round trip here. Like I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm trying. Loose cannons. I know you're out there. I'm trying. I literally have bookmarks dedicated to 6 different airlines on my computer right now.
That's awesome.
I cycle through it twice a day.
So I've actually got a pirate costume that I'm going to be wearing.
Pay me, man. I'll drive you.
In New Orleans. I will be wearing in New Orleans for Halloween.
I'd rather pay you $1,000 than Delta Plus.
I'm telling you, Halloween's are going to be crazy. It's just going to be crazy.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Worst case, I'll definitely go to Atlanta, but I'm trying to make New Orleans.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pay for the room.
The room's included.
No, I'm not. We're not.
He just needs.
I just need to get you. I didn't need to get you to New Orleans, and we'll make the rest of it work.
That's all I need. I just don't want to pay $1,000 to travel.
Bro, you're a freaking millionaire. What do you? Your job. You're a
yeah, but it's also the reason why I do as well as I do is because I don't make stupid decisions.
Okay, make a stupid decision and go to the New Orleans Saints game. Come on,
trying to make. I will have everything ready to go. I just need the flight locked down.
Hey, we'll hang out in the French Quarter. I'll wear Bucs gear. We'll have fun.
I was already doing that before you even offered. That's the whole point of Loose Cannon's package. You just pay and then you show up.
This is great.
Well, I tell you what, but Loose Cannons does not include plane fare.
I know that's the only thing that's not included. But I heard Jason Light might be there.
Yeah, but check this out. We need to possibly look at Buckaholics. I think Buckaholics booked a block of hotel rooms. So We need to review other avenues. Don't sleep on Buckaholics, because those guys are doing their thing.
Oh no, that's not my issue. My issue is mainly like the reason why I like, for example, what like the Loose Cans are doing is because of all the charities that are backing in. I know there's
Right.
proceeds going to them, like, and it's also just cool for me because I'm someone who likes the all-inclusive thing, because if I budget, things add up to be and sometimes when you lay a budget out and you see 50 things, it's more intimidating than seeing 3.
Yeah, I totally get it, and it makes sense. So, again, I just hope we can all be there and hang out and all this other good stuff. I'm having a good time here.
I'll be at one of them.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that. I'm only a 6-hour drive from Atlanta. Like that's easy.
Yeah. Ugh, Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's going to be a blowout game. That'll make it fun.
Yeah.
I'll maybe get to see Blaine Gabbert or Kyle Trask.
Hey, don't do that. Blaine Gabbert is not. His name is not to be mentioned on Buck What You Heard.
Okay, then I said Kyle Trask.
Okay, Trask one of one or Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
Okay.
If we're up 48 to probably it's the Falcons, so let's say it's 48 to 24. 7 minutes left in the fourth. Throw Trask out there.
Yep, I think you skip over Blaine Gabbert and you put Kyle Trask in.
But on the real, I think Trask is gonna be a healthy scratch. But whatever.
Come
Maybe
on.
you're gonna ask my personal opinion. I mean, you can't carry 3 on game day.
No, you really can't. So
put Chris Godwin back there as your third quarterback and just run the Wildcat, and I think we'd be just fine.
Yeah,
I think Chris Godwin, I swear to God, right now is the best running back on this roster, hands down.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That's crazy. Real quick, Sean Castillo asked the question: do y'all think that Ryan Suckup will continue to be as good? Yes. Ryan Suckup made you forget that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ever had a kicking problem. Period.
Well, I think when people look at even his numbers, I think they need the context behind it. Yes, he had a bad game with Detroit, but let's keep the Detroit numbers there and just take out the ones that were blocked because of Joe Haig.
I was drunk that whole Detroit game. I don't even remember that game. I was drunk. So I don't remember. It doesn't count. It never happened.
But I thought you couldn't have beer back then.
Huh? No,
you couldn't have beer back then. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Gene. Gene, I'm kidding.
I'm just lying because NFL Jesus needs to hear this. I've behaved myself this whole time, and I have until I had the vision. I had the dream, the vision that said NFL Jesus told me that I need to be drinking beer, and so you know what? I'm doing what I'm told. Cheers.
Cheers to that. Yeah. And I think, to answer the question, Ryan Suckup will be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if he takes a slight step down, I think that's still a very good kicker in the NFL.
The one thing that you have to keep in mind is he was 100% recovered from his injury when he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So when he had gotten cut and all the other issues that he had, there were a lot of question marks around what he was able to do. But I think he's answered all that questions. He's silenced the critics, and here's where we are right now. Let's not even talk about the kicking position. There are a lot of other things that you could potentially be worried about, like the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Light did the same thing with Cairo Santos as well. And granted, He drafted Matt Gay, but had he not drafted Matt Gay, I think Santos might even has been a really good, adequate kicker, and as he did pretty well last year with the Bears too, and that's a tough place to kick. So I mean, I think Light. I mean, he's 2 for his past 3. Let's forget about everything before that.
Yeah, but we were talking about Jason Light. You're talking about the greatest GM in Bucs history.
That I am.
I'm gonna go.
I should just every time I say Jason Light, it should just come up in subtitles: greatest GM in Bucs history.
And you already know that I was past tense a Rich McKay guy. You already know that. I wanted Rich McKay in the Ring of Honor. But you know what? Fuck Rich McKay.
And even
the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, even when you think about it, though, Jameis Winston wasn't even Light's pick. Like, let's be real. Lovie Smith was, I know. I'm saying Lovie ran the organization at that point. Lovie had even roster control at that point. So that's the biggest GM handcuff you could ever have. Is the coach
and this is what's so weird. Is that you had a head coach picking a general manager, who had input on who the general manager was going to be. I've never seen that before. I'm sure it's happened before, but I've just never seen it.
And I think BA helped Light, because I don't think Light would have had as long of a leash had BA not been available. And he was only available because he retired for a medical condition.
Right.
Like, that was it.
But you look at all the draft picks and you look at all the free agent moves that Jason Light made. Bruce Arians had, I mean, it was just a no-brainer to come to Tampa. If you're going to give it one more try, because you already know, I mean, just what you know watching Bruce Arians in interviews, he wasn't going to give up. I mean, I understand the health issues and all that stuff, but if you look at what's going on with Arizona, with the Arizona Cardinals and their ownership is horrible. It's like between a mix between Hugh Culverhouse and who's that clown over in San Diego? What is that guy? Who's the owner of the San Diego Chargers? Or sorry, the LA Chargers. LA San Diego
Honestly,
Chargers.
couldn't even tell you.
That guy's a jerk anyway. So it's a cross between those two. So I'm here to tell you right now that Bruce Arians, he had no other opportunity that really presented itself like what was going on in Tampa. You've got Mike Evans, you've got Chris Godwin, you've got all these players that were drafted that were homegrown players that you've brought in. Vita Vea. I mean, you've got all this talent here. You just need the right coach here, and then you come in with the right quarterback. I mean, everything just came together like it should have. And it all started with Jason Light drafting the way he did.
I'll even one-up Eugene. The Bucs are 2 for 2 whenever they've traded for head coach in terms of winning a Super Bowl.
That's true.
This is true.
I mean, if we're going to do handing off to successors, I mean, if they don't want to go the Bulls or Leftwich route, just trade for someone. See what happens.
Yes.
Give up. I mean, at least BA was only a 7th, not 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and like $5 million. Dr. Evil, $5 million.
$5 million.
Jeez Louise.
Well, guys, man, KB, I wish you were here in Tampa, man. It would be perfect.
No, but you got to understand, Gene. Me moving to Raleigh just changed the Bucs' outlook. I brought the good luck when I left, and don't bring up Trevor. Trevor's a Panthers fan. Don't you dare.
Wait a minute, huh?
I'm just kidding. Trevor Sycamore. I'm just joking.
We're gonna have.
Trevor, I love you.
Hey, Trevor, we're gonna have Trevor Sycamore on at some point. He's a friend of the show too. Be glad to have him on. Hey, Pless, head on down here to Bay Cannon Beer, man. Let's hang out. I'll wait around for you. The rain is let up. Everything looks good.
Sounds good, man.
All right. So I'll order a couple more beers and I'll just wait for you before I order food. How about that?
Right. Keep them cold for me. I'll be there.
We will make that happen. Well, guys, thank you so much for checking out Buck What You Heard. Everybody in the chat, Rick Hughes, Joshua Cole Allen, Nestor Cervantes, Bud Cannibalist. Yeah, we're all Tampa proud, man, because the Buccaneers are doing what they need to do. Actually, the city of Tampa. I just got to shout out the city of Tampa and everything they're doing. Nothing short of incredible, and it makes you proud to be a part of this one way or the other,
Yep.
Sports-wise.
Stanley Cup champs again on
Stanley
Monday.
Cup, baby.
Hey, by our next podcast, Gene.
That's right.
Another champion.
Hey, and I brought my Hobby Bullen jersey. I may have to get me a Vassie jersey.
Oh, it's worth it.
I'm seriously thinking, because this guy made me second guess my thoughts on Hobby Bullen. It's my guy.
Vazzy is the best, man. He wins games by himself, and he proved it the other night. So,
okay, there's an interesting question here before we roll out of here. Sean Castillo, shout out to Sean over in Cali. If Vita is healthy all year, expect the almost 2002 defense.
Better.
100%.
Okay, I got to be the bad egg here. I mean, this 2002. No, listen. Joking. I know, but listen to me here. That team said, "Score me 10." They said, "Score me 10, and we will win." And you know what? 90% of the time, they were right. I love this defense. I love Bulls. but they need to play soft zone. They need to relax. They need to be healthy. That's going to be more important than shutting teams out or even winning a game against the Bills or the Saints or whatever. Just get through the season healthy. Let the schemers like Todd Bowles run exotic and let Tom Brady do what Tom Brady does in January and February. That's what this team needs to focus on. Do what you need to do. Get healthy.
100%. I'm agreeing.
They're going to give up 30 points in a game or in 2 games this season. I'm going to throw that. They might even give up 30 points the first game of the season. Yeah. I think people are overblowing because of what Mike Tannenbaum said about the Cowboys beating the Bucs. I think that was a horse shit.
But a joke.
But if you told me the Cowboys lost the first game 42-30, I might believe you.
You know what? I'm going to say this.
It's going to be a tough defense.
Yeah. And the Cowboys are the Dallas Cowboys are in a prime position to come in and sneak away with a win because it's the first game of the season. But I promise you this.
Dak's going to get injured again.
Yeah. It could happen. I have 0% faith in the Dallas Cowboys and what they do. I personally believe that, Zeke Elliott is going to get shut down. Zeke Elliott may get 40 yards, maybe 40 yards at the most. But this run.
Oh, yeah, no, they ain't running. But my whole thing is. Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the one thing that helps this Bucs defense, though, is this schedule is significantly easier than the one last year, which is going to help overall.
You got the NFC East.
AFC East, too. No offense to even the Patriots are decent. The Bills are good. But, the Dolphins, they're good on paper. But Tua, if you think the Tua's going to beat the Bucs throwing 5-yard slants,
we don't know you really don't know what you have with Tua.
But that's honest. What I mean.
Yeah.
Who's even the other team in the AFC East?
The Jets, maybe.
Okay, maybe there you go. We had the Bucs end their season against the Jets. The Jets, the only way to win that game is if
the Bills and the Bills Mafia.
No, that's why I said Bills are good.
Yeah.
So I forgot the Jets, but we end the season on the Jets or whatever, second to last game. We might even be sitting players maybe even at that point. That's the only way the Jets are.
100%. Well, guys, thank you so much. I want to get your final thoughts. KB, I'm going to start with you, and then plus I'm going to go to you, my friend.
It's summertime. Get some sun, everyone. Relax. Go get you a nice cold one, if you're old enough. But seriously, go check out Real Bucs Talk. Go check out, why am I blanking on Robbie right now?
Robbie at Smack Apparel.
Go grab some Smack Apparel. We got some really good shirts out there for you all to check out. But, come join us. I think we're going to be on schedule next Wednesday. Today was to throw everyone off because of the Lightning game, and a lot of fun stuff was going on last night.
And I was traveling anyway, so it just wasn't going to happen.
So just relax, guys. It's the summertime. It's July. Have a good 4th, everyone.
All right. Bless.
Yeah, I turned 21 today. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but so I'm definitely gonna have a cold one. But yeah, no, this has been a lot of fun. It's always fun talking, football with you guys, and talking a bunch of different topics. So this is really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. We're only 10 weeks away, which is crazy. I saw that. I was like, man, it's flying by. And now we have training camp this month, which is just another.
It's about damn time.
Right. So it's we got a lot of fun times ahead. So it's going to be really cool. Buck, what you heard, Real Bucs Talk. We're going to be grinding it out until the season starts and throughout the season. So a lot of fun times ahead.
Yeah. All right. I want to say happy Bobby Bonilla Day. I wish I could end up with a contract like this guy. You guys, I got to bring this guy up and what a visionary he was. Just because he was. I would love to have a Bobby Bonilla contract where
is that the guy with like the longest contract?
He gets $2 million every single year plus, and keep in mind he retired like 15, 20, maybe even longer years ago.
He retired like 15 years ago.
And his contract runs through 2036 or 2030 something. So he's still got 20 years left.
So basically, I think when he turned 35 or something like that, his contract activated to where he gets $1 million a year.
But it's
Wow.
more. It's even more than that. Here, I'll send
Yeah.
you something plus.
Okay, that's
It's
pretty
crazy.
awesome.
So I do want to say happy Bobby Bonilla Day. I wish I could have a contract like that. But guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Rick Hughes, Joshua Cole, Allen, Ken Cook. Ken Cook says the Cowboys are not beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm 100% in agreement because I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Root the truth. I'm sorry about your team. I hate your team. So, it is what it is. But I do want to shout out Bucs Report. Thank you, Bucs Report. I want to thank Bacon and Beer for allowing me to come in here and do this show. This is great. Great beer, great menu. Hopefully I can get Plus down here. We'll hang out for a little bit. Again, if you can check this place out in historic West Tampa, I think this is just a gem, a hidden gem that really needs to be exposed. So I'm thankful for that. But thank you guys so much. We will be at Ferg's over in St. Pete and at 1:00 p.m. And we're going to give away some Smack Apparel t-shirts. I'll give you guys a chance to show off what kind of physical field goal kickers you are or touchdown passers you are. We're going to see what you guys are all about and give you an opportunity to win some Smack Apparel swag, some Bolts t-shirts, possibly some Tampa Bay Buccaneers t-shirts. You may get a Beat Down in the Bay shirt, which every Buccaneer fan needs to own a Beat Down in the Bay shirt because Kansas City earned that L. But anyway, that's for another time. I don't mean to be petty like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. And I want to appreciate, you guys. Plus, thanks for coming on, KB. As usual, you guys bring it. Everybody in the chat, thank you. And we are out of here. Peace. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Antoine Winfield up here.